Dear devotees and friends, good morning and welcome. And this morning we are going to celebrate the Sri Ramakrishna birthday celebration. Sri Ramakrishna, we consider him God himself. And God comes in the human form we call Avatara, the divine incarnation. But what is the purpose of coming to God? Because he is not having any karma phala. As a Hindu, we always believe that when we are taking birth, that means we are here to have or to perform all the actions that we have done in the past, the effect of that, the result of that. So karma phala we are going to have over here. And again, here itself, we are performing different type of actions, and again we are generating different result of the actions, and that we will carry in our next life. So this goes on. So this is the way it always happens. Now what about the God? Why the God will have this? Because he is not having any karma phala. So what is the purpose of God's coming? In the Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna himself is mentioning about it. In the Sri Krishna mentioned that I come to protect the righteous people and also to punish the bad people. The dharma sthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. We Hindus, we believe and we think that is happening, and the history of India is a proof again and again. Whenever it was derailed, the righteousness, some power came and put us on the right track. In the 19th century India, the situation was very bad, because from the 11th century to the 18th century there was a different the rulers came completely with different the culture and religion, and that destroyed the whole fabrics. And to crown on that misery, 200 years the British rule, and naturally the ruler always wants that they should break the confidence of the subjects. Otherwise, how they can rule them? So they planned that through education, we are going to give them a great blow. And 1835, this plan was formed that through education, the culture and religion of the India, the Hindus, will be destroyed. And 1836, the God advented. That is the unique thing. I'm not criticizing anything, this is a history. I'm not criticizing anyone, that goes like this. So when they are planning that they will be destroying a culture, a civilization, a religion, and to protect that righteousness, it came, and the God came in the form of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. And what he did punish us, the people who were bad. How? By transforming their minds. Not like the previous Sri Ramachandra or Krishna. The same power that manifested as Sri Ramakrishna, as Sri Rama, and also as Sri Krishna. But that time, the action was different. And in the modern time, it was completely different. It changed the attitude. The psyche started changing. What is that? He started following all religions. The Christianity, then the Islam, and Hinduism, different groups of Hinduism. And he said, look at it, all paths are leading to the same goal. And this truth, almost like 8,000 years before, in the Rig Veda, it says, truth is one and sages call it by various names. You see, we mentioned over here, that is our motto. Truth is one, but sages call it in various names. Only names are different, but the truth is the one. And sometimes we call mother, ma, amma, and different names, but same mother, same affection, same love, same sacrifice. Only the words are changing because of the languages. So here we find that Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he told that we must follow our own path of very sincerely, but we should not criticize others also. Why? Different paths leads to the same goal. Friends, this is the only way to bring peace. This is the only way the human society can survive, retaining their own culture, language, religion, but at the same time they can live like brothers and sisters. But this is the only way, the Sri Ramakrishna way. So let us now offer our salutation to this great God who came in the form of Sri Ramakrishna. So you can repeat after me. If you are having this paper in your hand, it is in the, I think in the second page. Please repeat after. The second page, the first verse. You repeat after me. Niranjanam Nityam Anandarupam Bhaktanukampa Drita Vigraham Vai Ishavataram Parameshamidyam Tam Ramakrishnam Shirasa Namama. Niranjanam, there is no blame in that character. Why? Because he was not having any desire. We don't criticize children because they don't have any desire. So similarly, the God is not having any desire, only one desire, to help others, to make them happy, to put them on the right path. So that is Niranjanam, Nityam. He is eternal, never changes. Ananta Rupam. He is having different forms, in different places, in different times, in different forms he manifested. And why? Bhaktanukampa. Why he manifests like that? Only to grace the devotees, bhakta. It is not for all, it is only for the devotees, the good people, that they come. The God comes and Dhita Vigrahambai. Vigraha means the form, and he takes that form only to bless the devotees. Ishavataram Parameshamidyam. This Isha means the God, and Isha Avatar, he is coming down, that same God, he is coming. Why coming? Because our conception, God is always in the heaven and heaven is up somewhere. We cannot think heaven is below. Always heaven is above. So that way he is coming down to this earth, Ishavataram. He is the Paramesha, a supreme being, supreme Lord. Tam Ramakrishnam, you, that Sri Ramakrishna, Shirasa, Shira means the head, Namamaha, I am bowing down my head. Now, second, Sarvadharma Stapakastam Sarvadharma Sarupakaha Acharyanam Mahacharyo Ramakrishnayate Namaha. Ramakrishnayate Namaha. Sarva dharma sthapakastam. There are varieties of dharma. Sarva dharma sarupaka. Twice the dharma, the word has been used. Why? Sarva dharma means in every stages we have some responsibility, and that is known as dharma. When we are students, when we are children, we have the responsibility as a son, as a daughter, to our parents, to our family, and to the teachers, and different type of responsibilities that we are supposed to perform. He performed in his life. If you go through his biography, you will find he is doing exactly that thing. As a son, as a daughter, as a student, what I am supposed to do, I must do that. So, sarva dharma sthapakastam. As a husband, as a wife, as a teacher, he is performing every time and showing that this is the path one should follow. Sarva dharma sarupaka. And here the dharma means path. Path that leads to God. And he followed all the paths. In Hinduism, three major paths are there. One is Vedanta, Tantra, and Vaishnava. That one is devotional, and Tantra that believes in the power of God that they think as a mother, and also Vedanta. He practiced all the three paths. It is so difficult to follow even one path. But in one life, he followed that, and he said all paths are leading to the same goal. And not only that, he practiced Islam. It is still there. If you go to Dakshineshwar, the place of his tapasya, that tree is still there, under which he stayed and then practiced Islam. A Hindu priest, and in the vicinity, in that area of the temple was so close, so near, and he was the head priest of that temple. The head priest is practicing Islam. Can you imagine? And that was openly, before everyone, not secretly. And that Sri Ramakrishna afterwards declared all paths are leading to the same goal. Acharyanam Mahacharya. Acharya means teacher. And he is the Mahacharya. Why? As because this is the first time one teacher who is teaching all different sects and different paths, different faiths, different philosophy, and that is the reason. All others that we see, they always say one only. But it is here, the Sri Ramakrishna, he is inspiring each and every one. And then he says, Ramakrishnayate Namaha. I offer my salutation at your feet. The third, Om Sthapakaya cha dharmasya Sarva dharma Sarupine Avatar Varishtaya Ramakrishnayate Namaha. Almost the same meaning. The friends welcome, and now coming 2 hours almost, we will be thinking, meditating, pondering on this particular ideology, which is nothing but love and unselfishness. The love and unselfishness, that is Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, that is the ideology of Sri Ramakrishna, and that is God. When you think of God, we imagine something. The God must be having 4 hands, and the light is emanating from his body, and he is floating in the air and walking on the water. Different type of things we imagine. We like to imagine, and we give that on God. Anything that I cannot do, I superimpose that on God. But what is God actually? Swami Vivekananda said, L-O-V-E. That is God. And God loves and loves everyone. We also love. We love only our kith and kin. Whom we like, we love. But God loves everyone, including those, the great critic of God, God also loves them. Because for God, there is no difference. He has become everything. And to love everyone, you must have to have unselfishness. If you have selfish attitude, it is me that people should appreciate. Otherwise, I am going to punish them. No, that is not the God's work. And He rectify us, not punishing us. So unselfishness, that is God. Again, Swami Vivekananda said, the moment you become completely unselfish, you are God yourself. Friends, so we have very good 4 speakers. They are all our very long-standing devotees. They have learnt and heard. And first, I will request our Dr. Deepak Bakhane. I am not going to introduce them because all of you know them. He will be speaking the Jnani aspect of Sri Ramakrishna. Dr. Bakhane, please.
Om Sri Ramakrishna Namaha. On the eve of celebration of 188th birthday of Sri Ramakrishna, we avail this opportunity to dwell on life and teachings of the Master. Whenever there is a decline in dharma and rise of adharma, God incarnates in human form, as Swamiji said just now. That is the promise Lord has given in Bhagavad Gita. Real nature of divinity is beyond understanding and imagination of human mind. It is described as Nirgun, Nirakar, formless, nameless, Ananta, Akshay, Satchit, Ananda, Brahma. Depending on the prevailing circumstances in human society, at the time, this divinity comes down as avatar in human form to set the things right. Prabhu Ramchandra came as Maryada Purushottam to show how to lead the righteous life and destroyed Ravana, the evildoer. Sri Krishna incarnated to punish and killed many powerful wicked kings and taught immortal philosophy to Arjuna and Uddhava. This time, around 1836, people's faith in our scriptures, Vedanta, was dwindling down. They were questioning the validity of image worship and thinking this philosophy is too old and ancient, not relevant today. Thus, circumstances were ripe for the divinity to come down in human form, which occurred on 18th February 1836 as Sri Ramakrishna. He is a Sattvic avatar in the sense, unlike Ram and Krishna, who use weapons for their work, Sri Ramakrishna came as simple, unassuming priest in Dakshineshwar temple. This time, avatar came in 3 bodies. To give an analogy, Sri Ramakrishna is like an electricity generation plant with tremendous spiritual power. Swamiji as transmission lines carrying his message of Vedanta all over the world, and Mother Sarada Devi as personification of Shakti and Pavitrata. Sri Ramakrishna is Vedamurti. He is living personification of Veda, the vast body of knowledge. He experienced those truths authenticated as one reality in many forms, showed to the world by his own living example how to apply them in our daily life. Today, material ideas are at the height of glory and power. The reform became necessary, combining the benefit of science and material progress and true understanding of the real nature of man, to realize that the happiness is not in the machine but is in the mind. Sri Ramakrishna says, goal of human life is to know one's own real nature. Practical questions for one who is introspecting are: who am I, what am I, why I am born, and how to be peaceful and contented. Master said, for Kali Yuga, Jnana Misrit Bhakti is more suitable. Among many teachings of Sri Ramakrishna, I shall highlight Jnana aspect. Shankaracharya summarized divinity as Brahma Satya Jagan Mithya Jiva Brahmaiva Napara. That is, Brahma alone is real. Jivatma and Brahma are not different. His famous illustration, as you know, is snake on the rope. Because of the darkness or ignorance, wrongly, snake was pursued with fear. Once darkness was removed, by bringing light, the knowledge illumined the real nature that it was just a rope. However, for us, at our present level of awareness and understanding, we believe first part, that is Brahma Satya, because that is the experience of saints and sages. But second part, Jagat Mithya, is not our experience. We feel Jagat is also Satya. In fact, it is neither real nor unreal. I don't have time to elaborate on this, but I will just go ahead, I think. So, at sadhana stage, one is climbing the stairs thinking neti neti, not this, excluding the upadhis one by one, reaching the terrace. Once reached there, one realizes terrace is made of the same material as the stairs. After knowing what was excluded as Jagat is not different from what one realized after becoming Siddha. Same one non-dual pure consciousness without attribute is Brahma in one aspect, and its manifestation Shakti, Prakriti, is Jagat. It is the executive power of Brahma. Sri Ramakrishna explained this fact by different parables. For example, he said the snake which is motionless and coiled up, and also when he becomes dynamic and active, it is the same snake. Another example was the clay as a lump. The same lump of clay can be in a different forms, pots and shapes and sizes, etc., but the substratum is the clay itself. Another example can be given is the ornaments of different design, shapes and function made from gold, which is its one common substratum. Similarly, Brahma, pure consciousness, is the substratum, the foundation, the ground on which his Maya Shakti projects as this objective world. While peeling the onion layer by layer, Sri Ramakrishna says, like removing upadhis, nothing is found in its core. No trace of ego. When mind is emptied of desires, cravings, thoughts, when it becomes pure, the real I, the self, reveals with its inherent luminosity, Atma Prakash. Shankaracharya calls other disciplines as preparatory steps like Nishkama Karma, Bhakti, etc., to make oneself fit or adhikari for Jnana Yoga. However, Sri Ramakrishna declared each yoga as independent path for realization. He gave teaching according to the fitness of the aspirant. For example, he asked Narendranath to read Ashtavakra Samhita, pure Advaitic text. Totapuri, in lineage of Shankara, instructed Sri Ramakrishna in Advaitic sadhana and was amazed to find him immersed for 3 days in Nirvikalpa Samadhi, as opposed to 40 years of sadhana Totapuri had to undergo to get the same result. Sri Ramakrishna Upadesha is the book written by Swami Brahmananda ji, which contains core teachings on Advaita by the Master. When identification with ego is removed, God within reveals. Master Mahashaya asked one day to Sri Ramakrishna, "Is world unreal?" Master replied, "Why should it be? That is the way Advaitic Jnani reason. Person realizes God by neti neti. Same world is realized as his manifestation." While doing puja in Kali temple, Sri Ramakrishna experienced divine consciousness in puja vessels, window sills, and cat present there. Divine Mother kept him in a state of Vijnana. Swami Atulanandaji asked Swami Turyananda, "Does Sri Ramakrishna's teachings are different from Shankara's Maya theory?" Swami Turyananda replied, "Yes. Shankara taught only one phase, how to get freedom. Our master first made one free, then taught how one should live in the world. As per Swamiji's instructions, there is no shrine or photograph of Sri Ramakrishna in Mayavati ashram." Swami Virajananda ji in 1901 informed and protested about it to Holy Mother. She defended Swamiji and said that Sri Ramakrishna is Advaita. You are followers of the Master. Hence, you are Advaitavadi. Impersonal aspect is worshipped in Mayavati ashram. Devotees observe Sri Ramakrishna going in Samadhi so many times, losing consciousness of the outer world completely, then coming down to normal awareness to guide the spiritual seekers. This is Bhavamukha, at the threshold of Nirguna in Samadhi and Saguna in human awareness, as if there is a hole in the wall of ignorance through which seeker can get glimpses of transcendental reality on other side of the wall or curtain of Maya. Only avatars can do this, who has ability even to change the destiny of yearning seekers by modifying the law of karma. That is, one who has made the law can modify it also. Brahma Shakti Abheda. Master has harmonized and included Shankara's Advaita Vedanta, Ramanuja's Vishishta Advaita, and Madhva's Dvaita Vedanta, also Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's philosophy. Serving others as Shiva Bhave Jiva Seva is an example of practicing Vijnana. No wonder Swamiji addressed him as Avatar Varishtaya. Sri Ramakrishna proclaimed, "As many faiths, so many paths. Choose any of them or in combination and be free." We are not just human beings, but we are divine beings in the human body. In summary, what is sadhana? It is transformation of mind, making it empty of habitual thoughts by contemplation and viveka. Then vairagya dawns. It is a journey from lower nature to higher nature, from human to divine. The outlook is changed. In Master's words, same Jagat which frightened as Maya becomes Leela, the God's play, and the joy of Mart. At the end, my salutations to Sri Ramakrishna and his manifestations, you all. Thank you.
So Hinduism, here near, you can see the Lemont Hindu temple. There are so many gods and goddesses, and every day so many pujas and celebrations are going on. And here in the Vedanta society, mostly we talk about the philosophy, and that is Vedanta philosophy. Just now, Dr. Bakhane, he mentioned that in Ramakrishna mission, there is an ashrama in Himalaya, it's called Mayavati. Of course, it has a branch in Calcutta, I was there. And they don't worship. No photo is there. In our meditation room, nothing is there. So mostly we used to come and sit on the terrace and looking at the sky, we used to meditate. Or in that room also, there is no photo at all. The white wall, you have to look at that and to meditate. What is that knowledge? What is that knowledge? Conception of one. And what is that one? Consciousness. The consciousness is present everywhere. We cannot deny that. So that is the way Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna taught us. Now let us sing a song and then we will go to our next speaker. The first song I will sing and please repeat after me. Tumi Brahma Ramakrishna Tumi Krishna Tumi Ram Tumi Brahma Ramakrishna Brahma, the word means all-pervading consciousness. That is called Brahman. And you are that. Again, you are taking the form. Krishna and Rama, both are you. Tumi Vishnu, Tumi Jishnu. Prabha Vishnu Pranaram. Tumi Brahma Rama Krishna. Tumi Adhe Adhara. The container and the content. Adhara and the adheya. Adheya means the container. And adhaya, the thing that is inside. You are everything. So you are the human form and animal's form. In whatever we see, the container, that particular form, and inside that consciousness, that is also you. Tumi adhe adhara. Tumi Brahma Nirakara. With form, without form. Tumi Nara Rupa Dhara. Bijita Kanaka Kam. You have taken the human form. Why? To teach us how to go beyond the desire for the gold or the wealth and the physical comfort. You are going beyond that. Kama means desire. The desire, why desire? Because I go in and come in contact with the object and I think I should have this. I am having a car. Then I suddenly saw, oh, there is a Mercedes Benz. And then I should have a Mercedes Benz. Then after the Mercedes Benz, then something else. So it goes on. I see and then I start thinking in that way. For that we need money. So for money, again something you have to do. You forget God and run after that. And ultimately at the old age, all those smart cities will be there, all those buildings will be there, all the money will be in the Chase Bank maybe, I don't know. And then where you are, in only the 3 feet deep, will be there lying down. So this, if we can remember, then there will be vairagya. He says this, Tumi nara rupa dharo Bijita kanaka kam Tumi Brahma Ramakrishna Apara Karuna Sindhu Tumi Deva Dina Bandhu You are the friend of the humble, but those who are egoistic, God is away from them. Just Dr. Bakane was mentioning the ego. It's very peculiar. Each and every one of us having so much of ego. And the moment you say, I, you are touching your body, the body has already changed so many times, going on changing. Which body then you mention? The mind is changing. Which mind we mention? But we go on, I. This is very peculiar. So that is the reason he says, you are the friend of the humble, the ego-free person. Apara karuna sindhu Tumi devo Dina bandhu Chahe yache indu kripa bindu The composer, his name is Indu. So Indu is praying to you Yache indu kripa bindu Charane kori pranam Tumi Brahma Ramakrishna Tumi Brahma Ramakrishna Now I'd like to invite R.J. Butler. Mr. R.J. Butler, he will be giving an idea, Sri Ramakrishna, the greatest of karma yogi. He's a professor, a teacher, and he, in his credit, has some books on Jnana Yoga. Please come.
Good. Good morning, everyone. Namaste. My name is R.J. Butler, and I'm excited to be with you today and present on the Karma Yoga of Sri Ramakrishna. For me, this has been a week of great privilege. This past Tuesday, on Sri Ramakrishna's birthday, I had the privilege of receiving Mantra Diksha and gaining a Guruji. And today, I have the privilege of sharing with all of you some of what I've been able to learn. One of the main aspects that drew me toward the Ramakrishna order came from reading Swami Vivekananda's writings on the 4 paths of yoga. And though, like our good doctor here, my focus has been on jnana, I've come to recognize that some of the main differences in the paths are emphasized in the mind rather than through the practices themselves. As such, it is important for us to observe that behaviors are reflections of those internal emphases rather than different intentions, all paths being one. In pondering the intentions of Sri Ramakrishna, I couldn't help but think of one of my favorite words in Latin, custos, which means keeper or guardian. Keeper, in the sense of a groundskeeper or custodian, whose job it is to preserve and protect his or her environment. And guardian, in the sense of one who protects a child and preserves their well-being, and is therefore said to have custody over them. From these examples, we can see how one who embodies the word kustos acts to preserve and protect. And that is very fitting as a description of Sri Ramakrishna as a karmi. With this in mind, allow me to draw your attention to one more word derived from the word kustos, and that is the word custom. Customs are the things meant to preserve and protect the values of a community, and they represent the traditions of unity, the practices in harmony, and the hopes for the continued prosperity of the group. The four paths of yoga can thus be viewed as presenting certain emphases, of which it is expected that the practitioner make a custom. The Bhakti yogis believe that selfless devotion and a desire to love others will lead to a deeper connection with Brahman. It is their custom, therefore, to perform the rituals that represent this and symbolically demonstrate their connection with the divine. The Jnana yogis believe that through discernment and detachment, that which is not Brahman can be stripped away so that all that remains is a selfless and unobstructed connection with God. It is their custom, therefore, to question everything and continuously refine their intellects. The Raja practitioners have a custom of deep focus and unwavering introspection, by which they protect themselves from the distractions of imagination and preserve their dedication to realization. And the karmis, of which Sri Ramakrishna was a great example, practice through egoless devotion to the Dharma and through acts that preserve society and restore the promise and potential of its people. In no other story have I seen this explained better than in the Bhagavad Gita, in which Krishna imparts the reason for the practice of karma yoga. Of its many verses, one stands out to me when I think of Sri Ramakrishna's spiritual practice. To paraphrase the opening lines of the 5th chapter, true insight comes from the realization that philosophy and discipline are one and the same. Put more simply, one should practice what they preach, or not just talk the talk, but walk the walk. In this area, Sri Ramakrishna truly shined. When he studied Christianity, he didn't just memorize a few lines from the Gospels. He became Christian, adapting their ways, praying to their holy beings, and truly feeling what it meant to believe in Jesus. When Govinda Rai, a Mohammedan or Muslim, came to Dakshineshwar, Sri Ramakrishna asked to be initiated into Islam. He wore the clothes of a Muslim. He recited the namaz, or 5 daily prayers, and practiced japa with Allah as his focus. To Sri Ramakrishna, spiritual pursuits were not a theory, but a practice. And understanding the pursuits of others was not merely a polite behavior, but an essential part of understanding the needs and struggles of the people he sought to help. Thus, through his actions, did he model for those around him the importance of authentic engagement. This, in turn, increased his own empathy and connectedness, which moved him to promote ongoing acceptance of different religious approaches in the name of divine harmony. Hence, as we can see, as many faiths, so many paths. Building upon his desire to preserve, Sri Ramakrishna sought disciples in whom he could invest the wisdom that he had gained through his involved and eclectic spiritual life. In this way, he hoped that the openness he had discovered from his own practice would continue to contribute to society. I myself was raised Christian, became Buddhist, and studied various other traditions. And on a personal note, I can say that it was Sri Ramakrishna's desire to engage many paths and open up to their perspectives that moved me to become initiated. and this would not have been possible without his willingness to teach. I say willingness because he absolutely did not have to stick around. Choice, after all, is the line that divides service from servitude. And we must all regularly make the choice as to whether we wish to serve others or simply focus on our own needs. Sri Ramakrishna chose service. He could have, upon attaining Nirvikalpa Samadhi, gone off to the forest, hidden himself away, and left it at that. That was most certainly an option. But it was not a likely one given his character and how many others had walked the walk for him. After all, he had been supported throughout his life by Rani Rashmoni and Matar Babu. He had been instructed by Totapuri and loved by Sarada Devi. And thus, not out of obligation, I think, but out of a heartfelt inspiration, did Sri Ramakrishna stay and teach. Teach, because he knew that in order to preserve what he had established within himself, he must be willing to pre-serve others. That is, to act in such a way in the present as to ensure that long after he was gone, his insights would remain available to all who sought deeper truths within themselves. And thus we see his actions as a karma yogi once again in the training of his disciples. As a candle passes its light to other candles, so too does a guru pass his or her wisdom and what a light was passed. Swami Vivekananda founded the Ramakrishna mission and brought its teachings to the West. Swami Brahmananda led the mission as its first president and served as a spiritual advisor to many. Swami Saradananda wrote about the teachings and worked to preserve that which he had heard from Sri Ramakrishna. Swami Premananda worked to develop the mission's humanitarian efforts, including the creation of educational programs, medical services, and community development plans. And of course, Sarada Devi, for decades after her husband's passing, continued to serve as a spiritual advisor and humanitarian, working especially hard to improve the lives and opportunities of women. It is often said that the efficacy of a parent can be seen in how their child acts when they're not being watched. Can there be any better measurement of Sri Ramakrishna's work as a karma yogi than in the observation of what has been done by his disciples after his death? Let us all commit to these ideals as we work to protect and preserve the great works and spiritual customs that were developed by Sri Ramakrishna and his many disciples. Dhanyavad, and thank you.
Actually, I asked him to speak, and in a very short time, he prepared, and it was so wonderful that he spoke. The karma that we do, it is not as a social work, but as a worship. That is they always say, it's not a social work. All the government departments, they have a social work department, they are helping people. It is not like that. When we are going, we are worshipping. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna once commented, if you can see God by closing your eyes in meditation within your heart, can't you see God with open eyes? The God, the poor, God, the illiterate, God, the downtrodden, God, the oppressed, are not they God? They're also gods. Go and serve them. So that is an unique conception. That way, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna introduced, as he correctly mentioned, Swami Vivekananda carried it out, and Ma Sharadamani Devi continued. Now, I will request about the Bhakti aspect of Sri Ramakrishna and Srimati Archana Rai. Rai or Ray? Ray.
सर्वधर्मस्थापकस्त्वं सर्वधर्मस्वरूपकः आचार्याणां महाचार्यो रामकृष्णाय ते नमः. My most sincere pranams to Swami Ishatmananda ji for giving this kind opportunity to talk about the Bhakti aspect of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna from my most humble perspective. I would like to start with a quote from Swami Vivekananda in Uniqueness of the Ramakrishna Incarnation and other essays. The Master was the king of the spiritual realm and the concentrated embodiment of many previous incarnations. I haven't the least inkling of who he really was, even after spending my whole life in practicing austerities." Unquote. Swamiji goes on to declare, to call him an incarnation of God will be belittling him. Keeping this in perspective, let us now explore how Sri Ramakrishna manifested the qualities of a supreme or Paramabhakta of Divine Mother Kali. From the Bhakti Yoga chapter of Volume 3 of the Complete Works of Swami Vivekananda, I am highlighting a few important aspects of Bhakti Yoga as given by Swamiji. Bhakti Yoga is a real, genuine search after the Lord, a search beginning, continuing, and ending in love. Swamiji further quotes the explanation of Bhakti aphorisms by Narada as, "Bhakti is intense love to God. When a man gets it, he loves all, hates none, he becomes satisfied forever. This love cannot be reduced to any earthly benefit. Bhakti is greater than karma, greater than yoga, because these are intended for an object in view, while bhakti is its own fruition, its own means, and its own end." Swamiji further says Bhakti Yoga has two stages. The first is the preparatory, or what is called the Gauni stage. The second is the supreme, or the Para stage. Swamiji also talks about the chosen ideal as follows. Ishta Nishita, one who aspires to be a bhakta must know so many opinions are so many ways. Bhakti Yoga lays on us the imperative command not to hate or deny any one of the various paths that lead to salvation. Swamiji presents the triangle of love. There can be no triangle without all the three angles, and there can be no true love without the three following characteristics. The first angle is that love knows no bargaining. The second angle is that love knows no fear. And the third angle is that love knows no rival, for in it is always embodied the lover's highest ideal. Unquote. Bhakti Yoga is a natural path and appeals to the human nature and the need to connect to the highest existence. It takes the basic human nature and leads on a path of higher signs of love, whose goal is the attainment of divine love. There are different types of relationships in the human manifestation of love. The Shanta Bhakta, who is calm and peaceful, the Dasya Bhakta, who is a servant to the Master, the Lord, Sakya Bhakta, who has a relationship of friendship with the Lord, Vatsalya Bhakta, who looks upon the Lord as his or her child, the Madhura Bhava, where the Bhakta looks upon the Lord as his or her beloved. Then there is the relationship of the Bhakta as a child to God, as father or mother. In Sri Ramakrishna's words, Bhakti matured becomes Bhava. Next is Mahabhava, then Prema. And last of all is the attainment of God. When Prema is awakened, a devotee completely forgets the world. He also forgets his body, which is so dear to a man. Unquote. With this quick background on Bhakti Yoga, let us now delve into Sri Ramakrishna's practice of Bhakti Sadhana and attainment of Parabhakti. We are all well aware that avatars display spiritual moods in their childhoods. In Thakur's life story, we see the first instance being at the age of 6, when he was walking in a paddy field and eating puffed rice. When a beautiful black cloud covered the whole sky and a flock of cranes were flying against this background, Thakur became so intensely absorbed in this sight that he lost his consciousness of his surroundings. The second instance happened when Thakur was 8 years old. A group of women devotees of goddess Vishalakshi that included the widowed daughter Prasanna of Dharmadas Laha and a couple of women from Thakur's own family were going to the temple. Thakur wanted to go with them. While walking with them, Thakur told stories and sang many a devotional song. As he was singing, his body stiffened, tears rolled down from his eyes, and he became unconscious. After many unsuccessful attempts to revive him by usual means, Prasanna suggested they address Thakur as Mother Vishalakshi, thinking that maybe he was possessed by the goddess. Gadadhar regained consciousness slowly, and his face was glowing, showing no signs of any weakness. The third instance, as we all know, was during the drama organized for the Shivaratri festival. The actor who was to play Shiva fell ill, and Gadadhar was chosen to replace him as he fit the part and could sing many songs on Shiva. As Gadadhar slowly entered the stage, dressed as Shiva with matted hair, rosaries and ashes, he became still with an indrawn gaze, a beautiful smile, and had lost consciousness of his surroundings. While this struck the audience with awe, many attempts to revive him were unsuccessful, and Gadadhar had to be carried home. He regained his full consciousness only in the next day morning. There are many other examples that help to give us a glimpse of his future as a spiritual master. Sri Ramakrishna was 20 years old when his brother Ramkumar died. Previously, he had been initiated by Kinaram Bhattacharya, a skilled Shakti worshipper, and trained by his brother in the worship of Divine Mother. Having lost his father at a young age, Sri Ramakrishna had looked upon his elder brother with fatherly devotion. The passing away of his elder brother deeply saddened him and triggered a strong conviction to renounce the temporariness of the world and to concentrate on the worship of Divine Mother, having accepted the official priest post. After the daily worship, Thakur would engage in devotional singing of songs of Ram Prasad, Kamalakanta, and other mystics. He would not waste his time in idle talk. During the night, instead of sleeping, he would go to the wilderness near Panchavati and meditate on the Divine Mother. Hriday was very concerned about Thakur's health, as also Thakur was not eating in a normal way. One night, following him into the jungle, Hriday saw that Thakur was meditating, having removed all his clothes and the sacred thread. When confronted by Hriday, Master responded, I am quoting the following from the Sri Ramakrishna and his Divine Play by Swami Ishatmananda. One should meditate by becoming free from all ties. From their very birth, human beings are tied with 8 fetters: hatred, shame, family status, good conduct, fear, fame, pride of caste, and ego. In order to destroy his pride of lineage and to instill true humility in his mind, the Master cleaned the latrine carefully and with his own hands, an action that is generally shunned by people as unclean. In order to make firm his knowledge that God dwells in all beings, Thakur ate as prasad the leftovers from beggars who had been fed at the Kali temple. He then carried their leaf plates on his head and discarded them on the bank of the Ganges. Afterwards, he swept clean the place where the beggars had eaten. He considered himself blessed by serving those living gods with his mortal body. Unquote. I like to quote the following verses 13 and 14 from the chapter 12 Bhakti Yoga of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita to draw a parallel. Adveshta sarvabhutanam maitraha karuna evacha nirmamo nirahankaraha sama dukkha sukakshami santushtaha satatam yogi yatatma drida nischayaha mayarpito manobuddhiryo madbhaktas same priyaha. Quoting again from the Sri Ramakrishna and his divine play, his heart filled with emotion as he sang those songs with exuberant devotion. He thought Ram Prasad and other devotees had the vision of the Divine Mother. One can definitely see her. Why can't I? Thus he would pray as tears streamed from his eyes and flooded his chest. This would somewhat lighten the burden of his heart. Then, prompted by burning faith and heartened with hope, he would again try to please the goddess with songs. Thus the master spent his days in worship, meditation, and devotional singing, and day by day his love and longing increased. Unquote. One day, when he could no longer bear the pain in his heart, he took the sword hanging in Mother's shrine and wanted to end his life. What happened after that, in Master's words, quoting again from the Sri Ramakrishna and his divine play, it was as if the room, doors, temple, and everything else vanished altogether, as if there were nothing anywhere, and what I saw was an infinite, shoreless ocean of light. That ocean was consciousness. However far and in whatever direction I looked, I saw shining waves, one after another, coming towards me to swallow me up. They were madly rushing towards me from all sides with a terrific noise. Very soon they were upon me, and they pushed me down into unknown depths. I panted and struggled and lost consciousness. We heard that when he partially regained his consciousness after the first vision, he uttered plaintively, "Mother, Mother." Unquote. Sri Ramakrishna also practiced Vasalya Bhava while worshipping Ramalala as the divine child and had the vision of Ramachandra. He also practiced Madhura Bhava, and through Radha he had the vision of Sri Krishna. Later, Sri Ramakrishna said, the manifestation in the same individual of the 19 different kinds of emotion for God is called in the books on Bhakti Mahabhava. An ordinary man takes a whole lifetime to express even a single one of these. But in this body, meaning himself, there has been a complete manifestation of all 19. Unquote. Throughout Thakur's life, we see continuous examples of the manifestation of his divine love for Mother Kali and a complete self-surrender to the Divine Mother's will. The most touching example is when Girish Chandra Ghosh insists that Thakur will his throat to be cured. Thakur responds sharply, "Leave me alone. I can't say those things. I can't ask the Divine Mother to cure my illness." Modern day and practical impact of Sri Ramakrishna's Bhakti Sadhana. In the words of Thakur, quoting from the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, one cannot get rid of this identification with the body, therefore the path of bhakti is best for the people of Kali Yuga. It is an easy path, unquote. For the first time in the history of mankind, we have an actual photograph of God. Thakur himself worshipped the photograph by offering bay leaves and flowers, as the photograph was taken when Thakur was in spiritual ecstasy and depicts the supreme Brahman manifestation of Mother Kali. Speaking from a householder point of view, Thakur has given us devotees coming from different walks of life, and no matter how hectic our lives are, a simple and powerful way to offer worship to Sri Ramakrishna on a regular basis with a devotion-filled heart and following the Guru's instructions. This surely takes us on a path to attaining peace and harmony in our individual lives. Quoting Mahapurush Maharaj from the Saga of a Great Soul, "I declare to you that Sri Ramakrishna is the full manifestation of him, God, for the present, the highest of him in human form. Follow him in your own way. You will surely attain through his grace the ultimate peace and blessedness. You are fortunate that you have come within this orbit." Jai Sri Ramakrishna, Jai Sri Ma, Jai Sri Swamiji Maharaj. Thank you.
our this Jnani aspect, karma aspect, and bhakti aspect we have heard. And now we are going to listen Sri Ramakrishna, the embodiment of spirituality, from Shuptima Lahiri. Shupti Babu, please.
जा कुंदेन्दु तुषारहार धवला जा शुभ्रवस्त्रवृता जा वीणा वरदंड मंडितकरा जा श्वेत पद्मासना. I just bow down to Devi Saraswati just because I am speaking now. So Swamiji gave me that topic, Sri Ramakrishna, the embodiment of spirituality. Now this is actually tricky. There's two parts. One is spirituality, then the Ramakrishna Dev's life story and all this stuff. So let us talk about spirituality. What do we understand about spirituality? Swamiji, do you have? I have some time, right? Okay. So let us understand the spirituality. Spirituality means actually it's a certain way of being and becoming. It's not the words, not the books, not nothing. Being and becoming. It is a process of transformation of individual by cultivating mind, emotions and energies to a certain level. Then you become, you may call it spiritual. So the scripture Bhagavad Gita described some of this, the practices and to develop the spirituality. So this I will mention few of them, but I will speak in Sanskrit first, but then I will try to translate that in English because a lot of non-Indian people are there. Devo dijo guru pragyam pujanam sauchanam brahmacharya ahimsacha sharirang tapo uchyate. This is the physical aspect of spirituality. So there are disciplines, three disciplines, kaya mana bhakko, that's why we say kaya means physical. That physical is the worship of Lord, gods, venerable persons and the wise. Then purity, straightforwardness in behavior, celibacy and non-injury. These are the physical austerity or disciplines we have to follow. Then the speech part of it, Gita said, Anudbekarang bhakkang sattam priyahitancha jat sadhaya obhasanam chaiva banmaya tato uchyate. The translation is the speech part, the speech which cause no pain or directly or indirectly to any creature, which must be true, agreeable and beneficial to everybody, and as well as the practice of study of the scriptures is said to be austerity of speech. And third is the mental part. Mental part is, Gita said, Manaprasadam saumattam mauna atma vinigraha bhava sangshuddhi iti etat tapo manasa uchyate. Mental part is actually tranquility of mind, gentleness, silence, complete control of mind, full purity of heart, and these are the kinds of austerity for mental austerity. Now this, how important is the spirituality? Let me tell you these things, just what I understand. Devotion on spiritual foundation becomes bhakti yoga. And if absence of spirituality in devotion becomes fanaticism. Knowledge without spirituality becomes a mere intellectual pursuit. With spirituality, knowledge becomes Jnana Yoga. Now the thing is actually that this practice, what the disciplines, so that now the practicing of disciplines, spiritual disciplines, and individual develop some divine attributes or divine attributes. Bhagavad Gita in Sri Krishna said that 26 divine attributes in chapter 16. So the 26 divine qualities or attributes, I am just first speaking in Sanskrit, then I'll try to translate it. Abhayang sattva sangshuddhi jnana yoga vyavasthiti danang damasya yajnasya sadhyayas tapo. Fearlessness, perfection in purity of mind, constant steadfastness in knowledge, control of external organs, sacrifice, spiritual study, austerity, and moral integrity. Then second he says, ahimsa sattam akrodho shantir apoishinum daya bhuteshulo luptam mardamahi achapalam. So the translation is non-injury, truthfulness, absence of anger, renunciation, control of internal organ, absence of any evil, then kindness to creatures and non-covetousness. Then third thing is, he said, tejas kamadhiti shaucham adroho nati manita bhavanti sampadang doivi ubhijato haso bharato. Maturity, forgiveness, fortitude, purity, freedom of malice, and absence of haughtiness. Now let us talk about Swami Thakur Sri Ramakrishna's life story and see that how this thing this how it is embodiment of spirituality. So we are saying that now let's talk from one sloka from Bhagavad Gita is Adhesta sarva bhutanang maitra karuna evacha nirmamo nirahkaro samodukha sukhaswami. So now Sri Ramakrishna's merciful attitude towards a temple priest. This is a story, life story. Chandra Haldar, a priest of Kali temple in Kalighat. And he was Mathur Babu means Rani Rashmuni's son-in-law. He was the manager of this Rani Rashmuni's estate. Part of this is Dakshineshwar Mandir and the garden and everything. So Mathur's family, he was Chandra Haldar was the Mathur's family's priest. He was envious of Mathur's steadfast loyalty to Sri Ramakrishna. Mathur was Rani Rashmuni's son-in-law, as I said. Chandra Haldar was convinced that Sri Ramakrishna had secretly cast a stronger spell over Mathur to make him his loyal devotee. For this reason, Chandra asked Sri Ramakrishna to teach him the alleged charm like mantra so that he could control Mathur and captivate his mind of other influential people, because Mathur was very influential and his friends were very influential in the society. Sri Ramakrishna repeatedly told him, Chandra, that all devotees come to him because of grace of Divine Mother and not with some magic formula. Haldar did not believe him. He had no interest in spirituality. So Haldar often visited Mathur's Janbajar house. One day he arrived Mathur's house and found Sri Ramakrishna there in a poorly lit room. Sri Ramakrishna was lying on the floor in an ecstatic mood. Chandra was convinced that Sri Ramakrishna pretending to be a state in samadhi in order to impress Mathur and gain his financial support. Chandra could not tolerate this sight of Ramakrishna's samadhi, and with his accumulated anger and jealousy, Chandra kicked Sri Ramakrishna several times. The boots he was wearing left black marks in his body. Somehow Dr. Sarkar, he was a devotee and physician of Sri Ramakrishna, came to know of this fact. Then he asked Sri Ramakrishna about these incidents. But Sri Ramakrishna asked Dr. Sarkar not to tell Madhur, let Madhur know about it, because Madhur was, if he knows about his violent behavior towards him, his master, he might punish him harshly. Or actually later on Madhur said, if I would have known at that time, I would have killed him. So this is the story. There are few other stories I copied from these books, but I just, there's not much time, na Swamiji?
You take your time.
Okay. Now, let's talk about, how Sri Ramakrishna touched someone and he converted from a brute to a man. So now we are talking about Manmatho. Manmatho is like a powerful wrestler and a robber, and he was kind of a hooligan type in the society. Now the story is like Joginma was a devotee of Sri Ramakrishna, used to go to Dakshineshwar quite often. But his brother Hiralal, he didn't like it at all. So what happened? So, and he wanted it, he didn't want that Joginma goes to Sri Ramakrishna and all that. Then one day Joginma just invited Sri Ramakrishna to come to his house, her house. But Hiralal, what he did, he hired that Manmatho just to intimidate Sri Ramakrishna so that he doesn't come to this locality anymore. So what happened? So Sri Ramakrishna came and Manmatho just came to this house, and he saw Sri Ramakrishna. He listened to his few words and he fell in his feet. He said, Lord, please forgive me, I had a bad intention. I came with a bad intention, just please forgive me. Then Thakur said, please come to Dakshineshwar temple one day. Then Manmatho, just he didn't know how to go to Dakshineshwar and how to meet him and all that. So he just then later Gangadhar, just is Swami Akhandananda, see, he used to live in that area, so he got hold of him. Said, please take me to Dakshineshwar. So he went to Dakshineshwar, and Ramakrishna Dev, just touched him, and then he took him to this Divine Mother's quarters and blessed him. See that how this brute, completely brute, became a man. It's not a god, but in a man. Then another is the truthfulness and the absence of egotism. So this is Sri Ramakrishna's. Then another story. Once he said that he would go to visit Jadu Mallik's garden house, but he totally forgot about it. So then after supper, so he remembered that he said that he will go to Jadu Mallik's house. Then that time, then he wanted to go to Jadu Mallik's house. At that time everything was closed and everybody was sleeping. So then Swami Brahmananda, that time he was Rakhal, that time he was not Swami. So he he just took his lantern and just followed him. And they went there, and Swami Brahmananda and Thakur went there, and they saw everything is closed. So he Thakur pushed a door and just put his feet and just came back. Like that, he wanted to fulfill his, whatever he said that he will do, he did it. Now this egotism part, this. So Swami Brahmananda said one time, even great saint cannot give up egotism. Swami Brahmananda said that one great saint in Benares showed him that his own photograph and said, "See, my picture is being sold." But Sri Ramakrishna, when Keshav Sen means it's a famous person in Brahmo Samaj. Keshav Sen wrote about him in the paper. He forbade Keshav not to do it again. See that? He didn't like at all, there's the publicity and egotism and all that stuff. So Sri Ramakrishna's special feeling for women. Sri Ramakrishna worshipped God as a mother. We all know that. He saw Divine Mother in all women. But whenever we talk about women, so everybody talks about that Thakur Sri Ramakrishna worshipped his wife. But this is a very, very high standard stuff. We should not talk about that. This is a divine consort. So this is why he has done it and all that. We cannot fathom it. This is too high. But he could not bear see the mothers undergo difficulties of any kind. So any woman devotee come to him, he could not see that so they have some difficulties and they didn't eat. Sometimes they fast and come. See, he didn't like at all those stuff. But there is a story, like a Bhagavati, there's a maid servant and all this. Should I don't tell them. Okay, so this. Another thing I said, Sri Ramakrishna's renunciation. Renunciation part is actually like, when the melancholy of Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita. So Lord Sri Krishna gave him the highest spiritual understanding of, in the second chapter. But so he asked him to become Sthita Prajna. So then he asked the question, Sthita Prajna, what it means? Then he said, so Sri Bhagavan said that, Projohati jada kaman sarvan partho manogatan atmanne vatmana tushto sthita prajna tadoschete. So this means actually when one fully renounces all the desires of his mind and remains contented in self alone, he is called a man of steady wisdom or sthita prajna. So Sri Ramakrishna's renunciation, this is another life story of Sri Ramakrishna. Lakshmi Narayan Marwari, a devotee, used to visit Sri Ramakrishna's often. During one of his visits, he noticed that bed cover of Sri Ramakrishna's was very old and dirty. Then he proposed to Sri Ramakrishna that he would invest 10,000 rupees in Sri Ramakrishna's name. Imagine that he used to. Sri Ramakrishna was the priest of head priest or priest of Kali temple. His salary was 6 rupees, and this is 10,000 rupees. He was offered. Then, as soon as he heard that thing, so Sri Ramakrishna fell unconscious, as if somebody is blown to his head, something with a big, huge head struck by his head. Now, when he regained unconsciousness, Sri Ramakrishna said to Lakshmi Narayan, "If you utter such words again, you better don't come here. This episode suggests that Sri Ramakrishna was perfectly established in renunciation. Okay, thank you very much.
Friends, now the Arati. Now we'll have the Arati. After the Arati, there will be Pushpanjali. I think you have all having the flowers. Thank you, the speakers. You have given us the complete picture of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, the ideology that we are going to follow and we are following, and through the personality which is divine. Now I will sing along with you the bhajan when they will be doing the arati. The last two songs. See, the song is there, please sing with me. Jaya Ram Krishna Balo Amar Mon. Jaya Ram Krishna Jaya Ram Krishna Balo Amar Mon. যুগো অবতার যিনি পূর্ণ ব্রহ্ম নারায়ণ, যুগো অবতার যিনি পূর্ণ ব্রহ্ম নারায়ণ, রাম কৃষ্ণ বলো আমার মন। জয় রাম কৃষ্ণ বলো আমার মন। জীব দুঃখেতে কাতর, ধরি নর কলেবর, বারংবার অবতার, জগত ঈশ্বর। জীব দুঃখেতে কাতর, ধরি নর কলেবর, বারংবার অবতার, জগত ঈশ্বর। এমন মাধুর্য ঘন এ মূরতি, জিত কামিনী কাঞ্চন, মাধুর্য ঘন এ মূরতি, জিত কামিনী কাঞ্চন, রাম কৃষ্ণ বলো আমার মন। জয় রাম কৃষ্ণ বলো আমার মন। পূর্ব অবতার, এলো কলাংশে যাহার, পূর্ব অবতার, এলো কলাংশে যাহার, স্বয়ং সে দক্ষিণেশ্বরে এসেছেন এবার। ওরে চক্ষু মেলেছে দেখো, পাবে রে নব জীবন। চক্ষু মেলেছে দেখো, পাবে রে নব জীবন। রাম কৃষ্ণ বলো আমার মন। জয় রাম কৃষ্ণ বলো আমার মন। রাম কৃষ্ণর কৃপায় বিবেকানন্দ বিলায়। রাম কৃষ্ণের কৃপায় বিবেকানন্দ বিলায়। ভক্তি মুক্তি বিনা মূল্যে কে নিবিড়ে আয়। রাম কৃষ্ণের কৃপায় Vivekananda vilay, Bhakti mukti bina mulle, ke nibire aaye. Ramakrishna bole nao re tule, jar jato hai proyojan. Ramakrishna bole nao re tule, jar jato hai proyojan. Dharma artha kama moksha, jar jato hai proyojan. And these two lines we will repeat fast. Ramakrishna bole nao re tule, jar jato hai proyojan. Ramakrishna bole nao re tule, jar jato hai proyojan. Dharma artha kama moksha, jar jato hai proyojan. Ramakrishna bole nao re tule, jar jato hai proyojan. Dharma aksha kama moksha, jar jato hai proyojan. Ramakrishna Ramakrishna, bolo amar mon. Jayo Ramakrishna Ramakrishna, bolo amar mon. Jugo avatar jini, Purna Brahma Narayan. Jugo avatar jini, Purna Brahma Narayan. Ramakrishna Ramakrishna, bol re amar mon. Jayo Ramakrishna Ramakrishna, bol re amar mon. Now we will sing Ramakrishna Sharanam. Many of you know that. Ramakrishna Sharanam, Ramakrishna Sharanam, Ramakrishna Sharanam, Sharane. Jai Jai Ramakrishna. Shara. Prabhu Kripa hi kevalam, Kripa hi kevalam, Kripa hi kevalam, Sharane. Prabhu Kripa hi kevalam, Sharane. Jai Jai Ramakrishna Sharanam, Ramakrishna Sharanam, Ramakrishna Sharanam, Sharane. Sharanagatam, 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 Sharane. Prabhu Sharana. Sharane. Ramakrishna Sharanam, Ramakrishna Sharanam, Ramakrishna Sharanam. बुला लो Prabhu Ramakrishna Sharanam, Ramakrishna Sharanam. Ramakrishna Sharanam, Ramakrishna Sharanam, Ramakrishna Sharanam, Sharanye. Prabhu Kripa hi Kevalam, Kripa hi Kevalam, Kripa hi Kevalam, Sharanye. Prabhu Kripa hi Jai Jai Ram Krishna Sharanam, Ram Krishna Sharanam, Ram Krishna Sharanam, Sharanye. Ram Krishna Jaya Jaya, Ram Krishna, Ram Krishna. Ram Krishna Jaya Jaya, Ram Krishna Ram. Ram Krishna Jaya Jaya, Ram Krishna. Jaya Jaya Ram Krishna. Ram Krishna Jaya Jaya, Ram Krishna. Ram Krishna Sharanam, Ram Krishna Sharanam, Ram Krishna Sharanam, Sharanye. Jai Jai Ram Krishna Sharanam, Ram Krishna Sharanam, Ram Krishna Sharanam, Sharanye. Jai Jai Ram Krishna Sharanam, Ram Krishna Sharanam, Ram Krishna Sharanam, Sharanye. Prabhu Kripa hi Kevalam, Kripa hi Kevalam, Kripa hi Kevalam, Sharanye. Prabhu Kripa hi Kevalam, Kripa hi Kevalam, Kripa hi Kevalam, Sharanye. Jai Jai Ram Krishna. Sharanye. Jai Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna Dev ki, Jai Mahamai ki, Jai Swami Ji Maharaj Ji ki, Jai Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna Dev ki. I think all of you have got the flower. Anyone? Check. So if you have not, please raise your hand. Volunteers will go. Acha, go quickly. Here, over there. Now I will repeat this mantra 3 times. Please repeat with me. Why 3 times? Maybe when you are pronouncing, there may be some mistakes. So by 3 times, at least 1 time will be correct. So 3 times we will repeat, and then the pranam mantra. Then you can come and offer your flower. The flower actually the symbol of love, symbol of devotion, and symbol of purity. So when we offer the flower, we are giving those things at the feet of the Divine Lord. So please repeat after me. Om, Oing, Isha, Shachandana, Pushpa, Patranjali, Sarva Deva Devi, Sarupaya, Sri Ramakrishnaya, Namaha. Om. Oing. Esha. Shachandana. Pushpanjali. Sarvadeva Devi. Sarupaya. Sri Ramakrishnaya. Namaha. Om. Oing. Esha. Shachandana. Pushpanjali. Sarvadeva Devi. Sarupaya. Sri Ramakrishnaya. Namaha. Now, this is the Pushpanjali. Om is the symbol of the Jnana, Brahman. Oing is a symbol of Shakti. So, Om and Oing. Esha, this. Sa Chandana. Chandan means sandal paste. All flower they were sprinkled with Chandana, Sachandana. That's a good smell. Sarva Deva Devi Sarupaya, the embodiment of all gods and goddesses, the Sri Ramakrishna, we are offering that too. Now Pranam Mantra. Sthapakaya cha dharmasya sarva dharma sarupine avatara varishtaya Ramakrishna yate namaha. Sthapakaya cha dharmasya sarva dharma sarupine avatara varishtaya Ramakrishnaya te namaha. Sthapakaya cha dharmasya sarva dharma sarupine avatara varishtaya Ramakrishnaya te namaha. Thank you, devotees. Thank you, friends. Now, the other two things are left. Will you please come, say your prayer, offer the flower, and then today I have taken out the relics of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. Very luckily, our predecessors, they collected it from our headquarters, Belur Math, and it is with me. I'll be touching the relics to all of you on your forehead. So after offering, please come over here. I'll be offering you the relics. And just an announcement, the many ways to God. There are 7 different the religions we have discussed over here, and what they do, who founded it, and what is their ultimate goal. This book is the main subject in our School of World Religions. So it has been published. If you like, you can take it. Many they request for our evening prayer, the Khandana Bhava Bandhana. So that record is also there, all the 5 songs, and you will find in this book all those songs. So this also you can take. Another book has been published, that is Had There Been Another Vivekananda. That you can choose. Thank you for coming. Thank you all the speakers for giving us the idea about Sri Ramakrishna. And finally, all of you must take the prasad. Now, without prasad, the puja is not complete. The Hindus, they always believe the puja and prasad, it must complete with the prasad.